since this unwind segue happens in this view controller, okay, unwinds over there, this guy gets to prepare. And what this guy wants to do when he prepares is create that photo. Make sense? So all we got to do to make that photo is implement prepare for segue here in this add view controller. So let's do that. Add view controller, let's put this right here. This is normal prepare for segue here. We need to figure out which segue it is, and so we really can't look at the destination view controller here, okay? Because add photo view controller is kind of like part of the view of that other view controller. So it really can't be looking, it can't know anything about the photos by photographer map view controller. But what we can do is look at the segues identifier. So if the segues identifier is what I said there, which was do add photo, right? That's what I set it to in the storyboard. And probably we want to have this be called something like unwind segue identifier, something like that. We'll put this up here, copy, pound sign define, like that. Okay, so I have a nice constant there. We're going to need this constant in a second, as you'll see. So if this is the unwind, then we want to create that photo. So what do we need to create the photo? Well, first thing I need is a managed object context. Okay, I can't create a photo unless I have a handle on the database. But I do, because self.photographer taking the photo has a managed object context. So I'm going to put this photo in the same database that the photographer's in, which is exactly what I want, right? So that's good. So if that context is not nil, then we can create our photo. So photo star photo equals, and let's import photo. Okay, so how do we create a photo? NS entity description, insert new object for identity, photo, and the context is that context. All right, I've created a photo. Now I just need to set everything in the photo. So photo.title equals self.title text field.text. Oops. Get rid of these square brackets. All right, and photo.subtitle equals self.subtitle text field.text. So here's how we are grabbing the text out of those text fields, just like a label, right? Just grabbing the text property, which is an NS string. What else do we got to get out of this photo? Well, quite a few other things, actually. We got photo.whotook. Everyone know what that is? Right? Photographer taking the photo, that's who took this thing. How about photo.latitude? Okay, well, we don't have the latitude. We got to get that latitude. So to do that, I'm going to add some properties here. Okay, so I added these properties. One is to keep track of our location in a CL location. One is to keep track of the URL of our image. One is our thumbnail. And also, I'm going to say added photo equals something. So I'm going to make this one read write, and I'm going to make this one read only over here, so that this is truly an outgoing parameter. Okay, so I'll make it read write here internally. So I need to import core location, okay, because I'm using core location right here. Okay, and we're going to have to set this location, which we'll do in a moment. But in the meantime, let's go here. This is going to be self.location.coordinate.latitude, and photo.longitude equals self.location.coordinate.longitude. And then let's say photo.imageURL equals self.imageURL absolute string. And we're going to have to implement this, okay, because right now our image is just in that image view. We're going to have to put it on disk and get a URL to it. So we'll have to implement that. And then we got photo.thumbnail URL equals, we'll do the same thing here, thumbnail absolute string. Okay, and then finally, we're going to say self.added photo equals the photo. Oops. All right. So in the unwind, in preparing for the unwind, we've put that photo in the database. Now, there could be a problem here. What happens if the user hasn't taken a photo yet? Okay, they haven't hit take photo. I can't do this. Okay, blank photo makes no sense whatsoever. So this is a normal segue preparation. So I can also do bool should perform segue with identifier. Okay, so this is whether we should do the unwind at all when we click it. So again, I'm going to do the same if segue identifier is that unwind guy. And then I'm just going to check some things to make sure things are OK, like if not self.image, then I'm going to complain. So let's say no photo taken. Oops. OK, or I might say else if self.title text field field.text length not. So if I'll force a title here and I'll say self alert title required. A little too many exclamation points there. Otherwise, we'll return yes. In both of these cases, we want to return no, that we should not segue. Okay? Now, before we go on and try all this segueing stuff, let's talk about this. Okay? See this little method alert, which I haven't defined yet? Let's go ahead and implement that. This is a good aside for us to talk about alert view here. So let's do void alert ns string message. Okay? What we want to do here is put up an alert that says whatever that message is. So how do we do that? UI alert view, alloc, init, this long thing. What's the title? Well, we're adding a photo, so we'll say the title of this alert. That's the little title at the top, not the message, but the title at the top. So add photo. The message is the message that we want to give right here. Delegate, I'm going to make this one have no delegate. I'll show it with a delegate in a minute. Cancel button, there's no cancel. Okay? And the only button is OK. Okay? So I've created this alert view. Now I'm going to show it. Okay? Everyone understand that? So that's just showing. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Yep, what do we got here? Oh, sorry, this is just the identifier. Okay. Yeah, what else do we got here? Okay, this else return super should. Okay, that's if it's not our identifier, some other one, then we'll do super. So let's do that. All right, so we'll go to photos. We go here. Now let's try to unwind. No photo taken. So it did our should perform, put up an alert, no photo taken. See that? So that's good. Okay, so we're trying to unwind. So we're getting closer to unwinding. We still have to get an image, and we have to make sure we set our title. So we're getting closer. I'm going to take another little aside to show you doing an alert with a delegate. What if I had something in my application which was a fatal error, fatal alert? Okay, so this is some alert that's so bad, I got to cancel right away. Just do cancel. Okay, how would I implement that? Well, I would do the same alert that I'm doing here. Okay, but instead of having the delegate be nil, I'm going to have the delegate be self so that I can find out when the user clicks OK, and when they click OK, I'm going to cancel. I'm going to dismiss myself. So to do this, I need to be a UI alert view delegate. Oops. Okay. And then I'm going to implement the alert view. I'm going to do the one here. You can see there's a few here. Did dismiss with button index. That's the one I'm going to do. And I only have this one button, so I don't even need to look at the button index. I know that in this case, I want to cancel. Okay, now I didn't set myself as the delegate for this one, so I'm not going to cancel for a normal alert, only for a fatal alert am I going to cancel. Now, what would be fatal? What kind of things would be fatal in this? Well, what if my device has no camera? Okay, that's fatal. It's a waste of time to have this thing up and my device has no camera. Or, since this photo mania is fundamentally locations of photos, what if I can't get the location? Okay, the user maybe doesn't allow me to get the location. So let's go ahead and put a method up here called canAddPhoto. Import some stuff here. So this canAddPhoto method is going to check some of these fatal errors, like do I have a camera available? I'm asking the UI image picker controller, is there a camera available? I'm also making sure I can get an image, which really usually don't have to check this. Mostly you're checking this to see if it'll do video. All cameras can do image, but just to show you what it looks like to check it. And then I'm also going to check my location manager to make sure my authorization status is not restricted. So that means my authorization status is either you're authorized or denied. Now, why am I only checking restricted here? Because this is going to be a fatal error. Okay? It's only going to be fatal if the user can't control whether my app can find its location. All right? They can't go to settings and set it. So it's fatal. Later, I'll check to see if they've just denied it, and I'm going to suggest to them they go back to settings and undeny it, and then it'll work. So it's not a fatal error in that case. So that's the difference why we're doing restricted here. Okay? So if all this is true, then we're good to go. We can take a photo. Otherwise, we can't take a photo. So now, let's, in our view will appear, or view did appear. Super. View did appear. I'm going to say, if self class can add photo, actually I'm going to say if not, if I can't add a photo, then I'm going to self fatal alert. Sorry, this device cannot add a photo. Notice I'm not saying anything in this fatal error like you are not authorized to get your location, because there's nothing they can do about it. Okay? If they have no camera or they can't do it, they can't go add a camera or do something about their being restricted from doing a location. They can't do anything, so I'm not going to suggest they do anything. I'm just going to say, sorry, you can't do it. Okay? I could imagine maybe saying here, sorry, this device cannot add a photo because you have no camera. Okay? I definitely wouldn't want to say because you cannot get your location. Or if I do say that, I want to say contact your system administrator or something like that to get yourself there. It's, But here I'm just going to say, sorry, you can't take a photo. And it's going to be fatal, so I'm going to immediately drop out of there. So let's take a look at that. All right, there's photos. And I'm going to bring this up. And sure enough, sorry, this device cannot add a photo. Why? Because it's the simulator. Okay? The simulator cannot add a photo. So this is properly telling me I can't add a photo. And if I click OK, cancel. Okay, so fatal error. Okay, so now we're going to continue. We're going to switch over and do it on a device where we actually can do this stuff. But to do that, the next thing we want to do is the location manager. So I never showed you how to do the location stuff. And so this is a good example of how to show that. So I want to set this self.location to something, because right now it's going to be nil, right? Because I just created that property and I never set it. And then here I'm looking at it. So our latitude and longitude would be 0, so we're going to be somewhere out in the ocean somewhere west of Africa or something. Probably have pirates after us over there. So we don't want to do that. We want to set this self to location. So how are we going to do that? Well, to do that, I need a location manager. Okay? So let's find a good place to put all this. Let's put it down here. Okay? So I need a location manager, and for speed here, I have this to show you how to do that. So I'm going to add this property. Right? CL location manager, location manager. Remember, this is the thing we ask to start giving us updates on the location. And then I'm going to lazily instantiate it. Here it is here, lazy instantiation. If we haven't created one, then I'm going to alloc init it. I'm going to set myself as the delegate. Obviously warning, because I haven't said that I'm that kind of delegate yet. And then I'm going to set my accuracy to best. Why am I doing best? Because I want to know exactly where this photo was taken. And I'm modal anyway, so I'm only going to be on screen for a few moments. I'm not going to use up the whole battery, just finding out where I am. And then here we set the location manager. And then here's the delegate method I'm going to use. Okay, I'm the delegate, so I'm going to get a delegate method. It's called location manager did update locations. It gives me an array of all the locations it's found since the last time it called this method.